Hello and welcome. This is Bill Pomaris from bandsolution.net. The purpose of this video is to give a solid browse through my book entitled Reading Exercises for Orchestra Book 1. The book contains 299 unison one-line exercises for orchestra for the purpose of instructing and developing skills in sight reading. Ideally, the students would not take this home to practice, as this would defeat the purpose. This is strictly for sight reading. I'm not an orchestra teacher, but I have written several books for band, and I thought this would translate nicely to orchestra with some modifications. I developed this book with the help of Alyssa Jutting, who is a great violin instructor and one of the current orchestra directors in Norwich, New York. The exercises follow the learning sequence of my method book that Alyssa also helped me to develop, entitled Essential Studies for Orchestra. You could potentially use this with your first-year students at the end of the year, and your second-year students could play from the book throughout the year, depending on how your program is structured. The idea is that the orchestra will play 2 or 3 exercises from the book, each rehearsal as a group, with the goal of simply being able to give a complete rendition of each exercise, play from beginning to end without stopping. Depending on the exercise or the concept that is being addressed in the exercise, particularly if the sight reading involves a new concept, you might instruct the group to, for instance, ask them to notice the time signature or the key signature, perhaps scan the line for particular notes or rhythms, ask them to say the rhythm or solfege the music, or maybe silent practice the exercise on their instrument with their fingers. The exercises get more difficult as you go through the book, giving practice with concepts that are covered in the student's lesson book in a sequential fashion. The book is transposed for the instruments you see here, violin, viola, and cello/bass, but you can conduct from whatever instrument book you're most comfortable reading from when you use this with your group. The table of contents with keys, rhythms, and concepts is posted on my website on the Reading Exercises Orchestra page under Music and Methods. You can download that file and print it if you wish to follow along here so you can see how the book is laid out. So giving a thorough browse here starts with the table of contents and a brief introduction. There's also a product support password for in the event that I decide to add new pages later on. Those will be available for download on the website using the password. Page 1 and 2 start off on the D string, and just some basic exercises using quarter notes. There's more motion as the pages go on. Page 3, more combinations of rhythms using the D string. And then page 4 adds 3/4 and the A on top. Page 5 adds the B, and then eventually the C sharp and D. Page 6 uses the full D scale. Page 7 is all about internal repeats. And page 8 introduces first and second endings, so students gain a chance to handle that situation and negotiate those measures. Page 9 introduces eighth notes, beginning on one string and then adding the next one. And then motion within the eighth notes on pages 11 and 12. They get harder as they go along. There are more jumps that are introduced, which are a little bit more difficult to read through. Page 13 and 14 are all about the G string. It starts out with 5-note exercises on page 13 and then incorporates the full octave on page 14. And then page 15 extends the G scale all the way up to high D. so they're covering more range. Page 16 is all about reading slurs, doing one string at a time to begin with. Slurring up, and then we have slurring down, and then combinations, extending the range eventually. It's more complex as it goes along, with bigger jumps. Page 19 introduces the F natural. It gives a lot of chances to incorporate that into the reading. Page 20 introduces the C natural. Page 21, here we are in the key of C major, using the F natural and the C natural that have been previously introduced. Page 22 extends it up a full octave. Page 23, dotted quarter eighth combinations. Here it begins, all the exercises start with that pattern on beat 1. Page 24 has the same pattern, but now we're using 3/4 and 2/4, incorporating it into that time signature. Still starting on beat 1. And page 25, the pattern presents itself starting on beat 3 in every circumstance, so the students can get used to reading it starting in the middle of the measure. Page 26, the dotted quarter note is either at the beginning of the measure, the middle of the measure, or both. Page 27, we're dealing with the eighth rest. The first 5 exercises, much like the companion method book, starts with the rest on beat 2. The next 5 exercises, the rest is on beat 3 throughout. Page 28, the eighth rest appears on beat 4 for the first 5 exercises, and then exercises 6 through 10, the rest appears on beat 1. And page 29, it's combinations. The rest is on any beat. The last page of the book is all about ties across the bar. And that's it. So if you like what you see here and you think you can use this to some advantage with your first and second year orchestras, you can download order forms from my website, bandsolution.net, and order a set, or you can have your school district pay for them using a credit card through PayPal using the links provided on the site. I do have to say that I've been using these exercises for over 10 years with my band, and they make a huge difference. The students are able to learn new music much more quickly with a daily regimen of reading exercises because their reading skills are much better. It doesn't take them as much time to learn new music either because they can read it much better the first time. Thanks for checking this out, and good luck.